All right, y'all. What it do? What it do? We are at episode 7. One more step closer to the end, unfortunately. And it's bittersweet, y'all. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. But it's been an amazing journey. If y'all don't know, if you're new here, this is a fire review of no other, well, no one, none other. There we go. Then welcome to Derry background. HBO original. HBO Max. But yeah, we just gonna be going over episode 7, breaking it down, all the little tidbits, all the little Easter eggs, and just going over in general. And to get y'all ready for episode 8. When all the shit gonna hit the fan. So I'm gonna let y'all know this now. If you didn't know, um, episode 8, man, it ain't gonna end good, y'all. Not gonna end good. I just gotta let y'all know that. Because this is basically a prequel, to the It movie, the remake that we saw. They remade it, years ago, and none of those kids survived. Well, I ain't gonna say none of them, but we're gonna get to that. But not gonna end good. So anyway, starts off with a good old scene back in what is it, 1908. It's a carnival scene. Basically, it's just showing Pennywise when he was still a human. He was just a regular old guy, a regular old carnival clown performer who was a dad, who wife had passed away. They didn't really tell why how she passed away or whatever, but she passed away. He kind of put it in this show, and basically, as you can see right there, that's him. He's not taken over by the entity. And yeah, he's just giving a show to the kids, and it just basically kind of humanizes them. And it shows him talk to his daughter later on after it, and her putting on the costume that we see later. It's Mrs. Kirsch. She puts it on, but she's a kid. There she goes right there. So you get a sight of her, and why she loved her dad so much. They had a really close connection. Of course, her mom passed away. That's all she had was him. And so it just shows him performing. And so right at the end of his performance, there's like an old barn that's sitting over to the right side, and you can see a figure. They changed the camera view, and this figure that's standing in the window of the barn, staring at Pennywise. And you only see the back of his head though. You can see his person. So after the show ends, he talks to his daughter, like I told you. Pennywise is just, he does another show and he's just chilling, outside the outside his little carriage thing, sipping on a little liquor, you know what I'm saying? Relaxing, de-stressing from the day dealing with all them damn kids. And he look up and it's a spooky ass kid that's staring at him. Walks out the fucking woods. He's Pennywise is facing the woods, his back turned, chilling, drinking, and he sees this weird ass kid walk out. He like, man, what the fuck? He like, what you doing out here? But he keep drinking, he ain't stupid. So obviously you can tell that the kid is Pennywise. And so we're gonna get to a spoiler on that too, of who I believe the kid is. So the kid basically says, hey, you are the kid, the children love you, what he said. Children love you. And they seen well no, he said the children seem to be drawn to you. And Pennywise was like, okay, that's kind of weird for you to say, but I appreciate you saying that. And he was like, well, hey, and then the kid said, hey, I'm lost. I can't find my parents. Pennywise said, well, shit, I can't find mine either. Their ass is dead. So he wasn't going for his shit. So Pennywise had to make a scream, happen in the woods. So well, not Pennywise, but it. I'm sorry. Made a sound and the note, sound like a lady was screaming in the woods or whatever. And so that ended up drawing his attention. He was like, "What was that?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's my mom. She needs help." He fell for that, and he ends up walking towards the woods. The kid grabs his hand, and they walk into the woods. Later on, the carnival people find a bloody handkerchief that he was using, and it's all bloody. They think that he got dragged in the woods by something, an animal or something got tore up. They're looking in the woods but can't find him. Little girl sees it, she cries. Scene ends. So back to the good old black spot. You didn't see last episode, the black spot is a nightclub slash, rec room. Well, it's an old rec room that the black soldiers, black urban turned into like a little club, chill spot, little kickback. End up opening up to everyone in Derry. The book has said it was a place for whites and blacks to come and just party and kick it. And so, of course, the the damn the Trumps. No, I ain't gonna say that. The crazy racist motherfuckers in town. The law and the ex police officer. Because he's not a police officer anymore because he couldn't find the killer. Or the killer got away or whatever. They go not they go to the black spot in mass. Like all the white men, the so called, you know, big shots of the town. And they have their mask on, they have their guns, and they go to the black spot. That's how it ended. Episode 6, I meant to say. So go back to this, it opens back up on this scene where the black people are going back in from seeing them, two of them, and tell everyone, hey, see, there's the scene there. They're coming in, something's going on, and they come in, they say, hey, all we want is Hank. Give us Hank Rogan, we'll leave you alone. Hank is the guy that they are that was blamed for killing all the kids in episode 1. Really was, of course, Pennywise, but they blamed him because he was, of course, a black guy and he worked in the automatically blamed. There's been a whole plot of been trying to get him away if you didn't know. And so they say, hey, just give him us. I mean, give him to us, and we will leave y'all alone. And of course, black soldiers ain't going for that shit. You know what I'm saying? They at first they try to say he ain't hurt, and then he walk his little dumb ass out trying to be all heroic and shit. Hey, no, I don't want any of these people hurt. Like, bro, they finna string you up, motherfucker. Probably burn your ass. Shit back in the cut. So he come out, so they have to up their pistols too and say, hey, bro, ain't none of that shit going on. Get on up out of here with this shit. So they, the white boys say, all right, cool. We leave. We don't want no problems. We get on up out of here. So they back out. Leave out the damn door. And instead of the black folk following them out the door, they start talking to amongst each other and shit. The white folk lock and chain the damn door. Lock and chain the damn door. Lock the people inside. Now, remember, the kids are inside as well. Everyone is inside except for Lily. So there is Marge, that's Richie, that's Will, Ronnie, and Ronnie's father is Hank. So they're all inside of there. And they told, Will hard head ass. His mom and dad told his ass to stay at the damn house, but no, he want to go out and be all heroic too and gonna get fucked up. But so anyway, all of them are inside. So they lock, chain the doors up, and they start throwing Molotov cocktails into the building. Set the building on fire. They also start shooting anyone that tries to escape the building and shooting inside the building as well. It was a pretty rough scene to watch, y'all. Pretty rough scene to watch. It's pretty, really graphic, especially if you ain't on that race shit or you a person of color. Kind of hits you, man. It hits you, man. It's right in your heart. But, you know, I hate it, like this how rough it was, man. Pennywise ended up coming to lighten it up some. That's how, you seen him, you was like, oh, okay. I gotta remember this is a movie, a horror movie, not a civil rights movie, but kind of turned to that for a little. And Pennywise is basically, walking around through the fire, just talking shit. Sees Dick Halloran there, trying to help Ronnie. He starts talking shit. So the whole time while this is going on, Dick Halloran, of course, his shining is Pennywise opened the box in his head. He has the shining. So the shining now is full blown to where he can see dead people. Can't control it. They're just everywhere. So on top of the fire and him running for his life, he's seeing all of these dead people. People from the Civil War. He's seeing, Native Americans and everything. So speaking on Native American, on Native Americans, he actually sees the ghost of Rose's auntie. Rose is the Native American woman, and the tribe that knows about Pennywise. They can find them area to the Derry area. So he sees her, And he has a rule to where anytime he see dead people, he don't talk to them. He tries not to get their attention because once he does, he can't get their attention. They're always talking to him, trying to get him to help him basically. And so he asks her, "Where's the kids?" So he cracks a hole in the floor, tries to find the kids, and starts to save the kids. He gets Will out, gets Runny out. Now, in between all of this, like I said, Pennywise is walking around just acting a fool, just causing havoc, just eating motherfuckers. There was one scene, spoiler, where this man basically just cunned this lady. He come through, this black lady, she all, scared. He comes through and say, "Hey, it's him right there. Take my hand." He asks to take my hand. I know a way out. Her silly, you know, I want no clowns there, baby. I know it's a fire, but come on, huh? She grabbed his man hand, scene cut to where Ronnie is, walking around looking for help. She turned around and see Pennywise over on one knee. I'm talking about y'all going to town, bro. Chewing, demolishing, just devouring this woman's whole fucking face. I'm talking about its face is gone. All the meat is gone. It's just gone. He's munching on the shit. Mouth bloody. He look up and still got time to talk shit. So see, that's when Hank comes. He gets them two out. And right when he's about to get Marge and Richie out, something falls from the ceiling, a piece of wood, and it separates. Thinks that they're dead. Fire fell on them. And so Marge and Richie are, still stuck in the building. They're together though. So Richie looks around. He sees a little fridge. It's like, hey, we can get in there. Billy's about to let's get in there. So Marge is like, hey, it's shit too little. We both can't get in there. He said, yes, we can. Get on in there. So once she gets in there, spoiler, y'all a second. He closes her in there. As a heroic little guy he is, he closes the door and seals her in there. And she's screaming, "Let me out! Let me out!" He's like, "No, if you remember what you told me. You told me I was a knight. I gotta do some night shit. I gotta save the woman I love and shit." He started telling him about this talk, a whole bunch of time where he saw her around the school, and that's when he fell in love. She was talking shit to him, dissing him and shit. But ask you, I can feel Richie on that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like him and shit. But I'm finna die now, baby. You know what I'm saying? You should have got me when you had a chance. You know what I'm saying? But the Richie, spoiler, you know, little Richie ends up dying. Little Richie's not with us no more. But they didn't burn him up. He dies of smoke inhalation, but saves Mark. And so I'm sorry. I like Richie. Cool. Hate that he passed on. Like I said, we can't get attached to these kids, man. Unfortunately, because Pennywise is taking their asses out. It's over with. Next episode, y'all. So don't get attached. So let's see. Now, actually, that was this is still going on. Pennywise goes, he's still wilding out, doing his thing. So Hank, well not Hank, but Dick Halloran gets outside, got the kids outside and everything. They're safe and everything. And all of a sudden, you see Ingrid, silly ass, coming out the woods, still dressing that damn clown outfit. And she sees, well, vice versa, her husband sees her. All the white guys are coming out, they're leaving, and they don't see Dick and everyone else, Dick Halloran and everyone. See them. They don't see those two. They're leaving everything. Mr. Kirsch's vehicle doesn't crank. So he's stuck. He's like, what the fuck? That's when he turns around and see his old silly ass wife, crazy ass wife walking through the woods, dressed up as a clown. And he like, man, what the fuck you doing out here? And she like, I was coming here, this. He was like, why are you dressed like this? She was like, this is me now. That's her as a kid. Did the same outfit, just a grown up version. That this is me. This is who I am. And he basically just talked crazy and said, look, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't get home. I don't condone that shit. Oh, you tripping, but bro, don't be beat. Anyway, told ass go home. And he said, and he just clicked out, I'm a kid, I'm gonna beat you black and blue, so and so, just talking crazy to her. And she looks up behind him and says, "Hi, Dad." And the camera zooms out. Pennywise is behind him with a big ass butcher knife. I don't know what the fuck you gonna kill with that knife. That was like something you fucking cut off a pterodactyl tail. This man had I think a sword blade, a Bushido blade. You don't know what that is. Look it up. Literally on his shoulder, and cut that cut Mr. Kirsch's head clean across the middle, top part off. Gave that man an everlasting haircut. He don't worry about ever getting a haircut again. Then grabbed the part that he cut off and bit that motherfucker like it was an apple. And sat there and looked Mrs. Kirsch's ass in the face. And she's still crazy. Oh, father, I knew you were. They had this little back and forth where she run up and hug him while this nigga just ate your husband's head. That pause, that sounded weird, but ate your husband's forehead. There you go. Anyway, you killed your husband, and you gonna run up and hug the guy. And he, you could tell it was like once he hugged him, all you could see was Pennywise's face once she hugged him. And Pennywise was just like, like, what the fuck am I? What is this feeling? Because he still had her dad in him. Still is her dad. So she bagged up and he was like, "Well, look, you've done a great." She said, "I knew this would work. I told them where he was." Basically, she set the whole thing up. She told the police, told Hank where to go to the black spot, and then told the police where he was. So she did all that because she knew it was gonna cause a big, a lot of death and pain and horror stuff that's gonna make Pennywise basically come and havoc and so be a parasite. And so he says, "Thank you for doing that." And he says, "But I'm finna go. I'm finna go to sleep because this is the augury. The augury is the big event that happens every 25 years, where it's just a whole bunch of death and destruction. Where Pennywise, well, he feeds, and then on the 25 years, it's just a big event. And a whole bunch of people die. He feeds. He feeds then, and he goes into hibernation for 25 years again, and he comes back out." And so he was about to, leave. A silly ass somehow said, "No, Papa, don't leave me, don't leave me." And grabbed the man, and he turned around like, "Bitch, you must forgot who the fuck I am." And once he looked at her, she said, "Oh no, you're not him." She actually sees that this ain't her fucking daddy. So of course he talks shit. Yeah, I'm him. He with me. He's inside me because I ate him. And she like, "Oh my god," she trying to get away and shit. This man, we get the first sight of the lights. I'm saying I forgot the lights, the death lights. Dead lights. I'm sorry, the dead lights. I'm sorry, I had a little brain freeze. Yeah, the dead lights. Basically, the dead lights is actually the one of the the closest true form to the entity that we call it. So he's an interdimensional being. So even that's the only thing our mind can basically see and fathom is that of his form. So it's just those lights. It's the power coming from the macro thing where he's from. Well, the toad ass, on back of maturing. Big turtle, a whole other thing. That is, Pennywise's arch enemy, by the way. And his big brother, you could say, big ass turtle named Cheerian. That y'all get crazy. We'll get into that later on. But anyway, so he puts her into the deadlights, hypnotizes her ass, cuts to the where the army comes and they're putting the next day the army comes, they're putting out the fire and everything. And Will's dad come, he's telling him, "Son, you could have died." He like, "Yeah, I know, Dad. I'm sorry. I would whoop his ass right there. I don't fuck." But well, when that happens, that you see Mrs. Kirsch being wheeled off into an ambulance and probably get taken to you. Like she got a stale face, but she pops her eyes open, looks at the kids. So it basically lets you know that Pennywise is gonna be able to control her because he didn't kill her. So that's something too that I saw that he didn't kill her. He's gonna use her as a tool again. Little boy bullying them when they was kids on the new movie. So then we get Dick Halloran over in the bushes. They come over to try and talk to him. He's still seeing dead people and shit. They saying, hey man, this ain't good. We all get our ass in trouble. All these motherfuckers died. Y'all done burnt the shit down. And we ain't got nothing to talk, we got nothing with it. You said, it ain't here no more because Halloran was got scared thinking that it was still around. He said, well, Halloran, it's not here. I don't feel it no more. Because it has been, he went in hibernation, so he don't feel him no more. Basically it gone for right now. 25 years, supposedly. So he says, well, damn, we can't find the damn totems. The totems that the Native Americans buried that seals Pennywise is in just that little area. So the military wants those. And so he says, no, we can by using the Native American ghost that he can see. She leads them to the burial ground where one of the totems are. And is. So, the girls, they go, Marge and Ronnie go and talk to Lily. She's still on the dinner crazy. Tell her about little little Richie passing away. Rest in peace, little Richie. Fine shit. Like this all she been doing anyway. Fine. Then we're gonna see what happens after that. And so on top of that, military, they find the fucking beacon, right? Find the beacon. And they would do what military do and lie. Basically tell Halloran that, they want to use it to control people, basically. Want to use the fear, everything to control people. People know that it's an entity out there, they'll act right and do right. They don't know they can't control people. So Halloran ain't going for that shit. He busts off into the special projects wing with the pistol. You know what I'm saying? Telling folk, the military was about to burn damn totem. They're finna break it down, burn it, see what they can. Well, they just want to release it. They just want to burn it so they can see it. And so he comes in there and stops it. The white guy gives him the whole speech about why he wants to do it. And he basically gets, they take his gun and everything, and he still says he's gonna do it. They do. And once they do, you get a scene Pennywise like sitting in a fucking a pool of blood and guts and bodies all around him. And he wakes up as soon as it burns, as soon as they break down that totem, he wakes up. Supposed to be asleep, but no, the damn army has woke his ass up. So this is going to actually release Pennywise into a further part of Derry, basically take over the whole part of Derry, where he can go where he already could in a way, but he wasn't as powerful. But now he's gonna be more powerful, more conniving, and gonna be the version of it that we know. You know what I'm saying? Because he's basically free. Still can't leave for say, but he's free to go a little further. And so as soon as that happens, cuts to Will in the kitchen, home alone again. Damn parents leave his ass everywhere by himself. The only thing I don't like about it, black folk wouldn't do that. This shit going on. Fuck this damn military. We out. Fuck everything. And definitely leave a little kid at home. They leave him at the house. Phone rings. He picks up the phone. It's running. And she crying and shit, saying she can't believe that little Richard dead and shit. But as she started talking, she starts getting more and more graphic, describing his body and how his lungs pop like popcorn and how she want to taste it. And we're like, what the fuck? We're like, who is this? He said, no, you know what? I know who this is. We'll won't go over that shit. He said, I know who this is. This motherfucking, this you. I ain't scared you no more, man. I'm sick of this shit. I mean, Will stood up like a G. Said, he ain't scared you no more, bro. What's up? No squirrel, basically. As soon as he said that, y'all, the camera panned out and this motherfucking Pennywise was sitting on the damn refrigerator. Jumped off the refrigerator out there and fell out the chair myself. I already know that little kid was shitting on his but he jumps off the damn counter and shows him the damn deadlights again. Shows him the deadlights. Of course, he's in zombie mode. So of course the deadlights the reason why it puts us in basically this zombie mode where he can just do whatever to you. You're not there no more. It's because what he is showing you is just so much shit that our brains can't fathom it, can't understand it. They can't just see it to where your brain, your body, everything is shuts down. Like somebody hit the switch. It's an overload. Your subconscious. So once he does that, you're basically nothing. You're just to his will, whatever you want to do to you. That's why the kid's just floating around. And that way he can go up there and pick you out whenever you want to, or use you as he ever want to use you. So, y'all, I can say, I gave you one spoiler, just another spoiler section. First off, the episode was amazing. It's just the spoiler. Spoiler time, spoiler time, spoiler time. So I gave you one already there, of course, little Richard died. Richard passed away. Also, if you didn't know, like I said, it's gonna be at least one more kid that's gonna die right now. So I think Lily is gonna get committed to Juniper Hills. I think Marge could possibly grow up to be Richie's mom or an auntie of Richie or something. Richie, in the new movies, Richie is a little kid, has ass and everything. Mom was all on his ass, telling him to be safe and everything. I think that's why, because she know what's going on. She know it is out there. But it kind of thinks like she would have said something possibly, but maybe she wasn't trying to tell him so he wouldn't know. So, but that's just a theory of mine. Don't quote me on that one. It may not be her, but I think so because his name is Richie. He would be named after it. They said in the movie that he was named after his father, or the book, one of them. And well, not his father. I'm sorry. After a school love that she had, father. And so then we also have, I think of one more good spoiler. Didn't want to just give out, but I think I might save that. Gonna say that one. Gonna say that. Once again. Oh, well, no. Okay, one more. We need one more. The little boy, because I said I was gonna tell y'all this. The little boy. We're gonna say the other one I was gonna give you to the next episode. The little boy, that Pennywise was using it. Well, that it was using to get Pennywise. The beginning. That little boy is gonna end up being probably one of those kids from the Ironworks fire that he ended up killing or taking. Because the second season is gonna be trying to see what we're 60 something. It's gonna be the I think the 20s. Or it could be the 1900s. It could be actually that time there when with Pennywise gets possessed. Or it could be the last season, one or the other. I don't know how they're gonna do the order, but it's gonna show the prequels. Go back every time he's in Pennywise. So I believe that little kid, he's gonna be from the Ironworks one, the Ironworks fire somehow. So that happens on Easter. What happened on Easter now? But yeah, y'all. But I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. We've been here already about 30 minutes. But it was a good episode, man. Y'all need to watch it, man. Watch it. It's about to be. I know some people might wait until it's fully done. I respect it. I do the same thing with a lot of shows. But once again, please give me some feedback, y'all. Write in the comments. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Just ask questions. Or tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Or give me your thoughts on everything. Let's talk. Yeah, we out this thing, man. Doing us how we do us. Want y'all to keep doing y'all how y'all do y'all. We just gonna get up out of here, man. But y'all stay true to the game, baby. We out. Peace.